Made an unplanned trip to Fort Stanwix, New York, just inside the city of Rome. And the French and Indian War is where it all started. That construction was in 1758. The British General John Stanwix built that fort to protect the Oneida Carry, which is a critical portage point on the Mohawk River. The fort was fully constructed in 1762. Following the French and Indian War, the fort was abandoned and fell into disrepair. In November of 1768, the Treaty of Fort Stanwix was signed, and Great Britain and the Six Nations Confederacy established a boundary line separating colonial settlements from Native American lands. During the American Revolution, the Continental Army was forced to reoccupy and rebuild the ruined fort, renaming it Fort Schuyler. And in August of 1777, the fort faced a 21-day siege by British General Barry Ledger, Native American allies and loyalists. But the garrison, Patriot garrison, led by Colonel Peter Gansevoort, held strong. In August of 1777, General Benedict Arnold arrived with reinforcements and forced Ledger's troops to abandon the siege. In the 1780s and up to 1790, the state of New York negotiated several land treaties with the Oneida, Onondaga, and Cayuga nations at the fort site to secure some land. In 1781, a devastating fire destroyed a good part of Fort Stanwix, leading the Patriot and Continental Army to decommission the site. I'll walk you through these soldiers' quarters at Fort Stanwix National Monument. Here's where they stayed, bunk beds. They said it got so cold that sometimes three of them had to share a blanket in the middle of the wintertime. So, see, the officers had it a little nicer, but these are like queen-size beds in here, bunked up. Hey, Fort Stanwix sat for a long time, from 1790 to about 1935, when President Franklin Roosevelt signed legislation establishing Fort Stanwix National Monument. And then in 1970 through 1973, the National Park Service did some archaeological digs on the site, found many, many artifacts, and they started reconstruction of the fort for the 1976 bicentennial. And today, Fort Stanwix operates on a year-round basis with demonstrations, exhibits, and visitor programs.
Take a prime. And set. Make ready. And fire. Pretty good. You can see with just one practice, I can get this crew up to do 3 times a minute very fast.
Fort Stanwix was not about all guns and glory. During the Revolution, there were many desertions, and there was a constant problem driven by the fort's remote frontier location, freezing winters, and severe supply shortages. Soldiers frequently deserted to escape unbearable living conditions or collect multiple enlistment boundaries in different regiments.